Not every ending is a tragedy. That's today's subject. And I'm going to cover 4 points. The first point being divorce or separation or both. The second point would be graduation, graduating from something. And then the third point would be losing your home or a job, perhaps even both. And the fourth point would be certain distance or perhaps the empty nest syndrome. So those are the subjects I'm going to cover today. And I'm going to have some interesting solutions for you. Hopefully, it will help you a great deal. We all are there sometimes. So, anyway, welcome. My name is Ellen. Happy Tuesday. And we are almost in midweek. Oh my gosh. Yeah, weeks fly by, right? Well, we're almost in mid August now. Anyway, the first point would be the voice can offer a fresh start, I'm thinking at times, separation as well. It is perhaps a challenge that you can rise up to, um, a healing journey. Because I'm thinking also this is an opportunity for us to perhaps, after a separation or a divorce, to give us an opportunity to, first of all, heal from it, figure out what did not work. I mean, sometimes, you have a separation and then eventually you come back together again after you figured out what went wrong in the first place, right? Because most of the time it takes two, obviously, in any relationship to make it work. Um, so I'm also thinking that it is important to reflect, obviously, to move forward with a new stamina, with a new understanding of what a relationship could become if once you are healed, right? I've myself been through it, and I'm sure many of you have been through some kind of heartbreak at one point in your life, perhaps even a divorce. I mean, we are what at 50% worldwide almost, especially in the Western world. That's just how things are going, and many reasons, obviously, and they are always different for everyone, right? But I'm thinking if we look at it as an opportunity for a fresh start and a new beginning of some sort, then perhaps you can look at it as maybe not a loss, but maybe a lesson, all starting with an L. uh, the second point, the graduation. Sometimes I'm thinking graduates can feel a little overwhelmed when they are graduating, say, from high school or college, and everyone in the family is asking them, "So now, what are you going to do?" And most of us, when we graduated from high school or we graduated from college, are clueless about how we're going to move forward. I mean, it isn't easy to have answers that perhaps pertain to the rest of your life. I mean, that's a really big question. And so the way I look at it is perhaps take it in um, in little segments. So what are you going to do for the next year? That might be an easier question to answer than what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Because as we are growing, we change, and what seemed like a great idea in the beginning may not seem like a great idea 10, 15 years down the road. So why would you want to make a commitment that far off, right? So graduating, it's not always easy. Obviously, most of the time it is a joyous event, family gets together, celebrate you, right? um, at the same time, there are many types of graduations. It's not just, in quotations, not just high school and college. Sometimes you graduate from an illness, right, that you've had and carried around along for a long time, and then you finally you know graduated, sort of, to where you are now healed. And that is a graduation of a way, because you obviously put a lot of effort into it. Perhaps you had surgery and what have you, and you went to your physical therapy and what have you, and then finally they are telling you, you know what, you're good now. So that is a sort of a graduation as well. So it is definitely, it can feel overwhelming in the beginning to kind of stand on your own feet. And at the same time, it also takes time to reflect on where all the obstacles you have overcome, and to get you where you are now, I mean, that's huge. That's definitely something to celebrate. Um, Often, even in the midlife, we maybe go in a whole different direction in terms of job seeking opportunities, right? Maybe you want to become a real estate agent, or you want to go back to school and get your bachelor, or you want to go and get your master's, and then when you graduate, you might have a better idea on where you want to go later in life once you've had that year or two. I'm also thinking that once you graduate, it might not be a bad idea to kind of take some out time, even if it's just 3 months, to perhaps travel, um, go somewhere you haven't been, and let the universe sort of inspire you. Maybe volunteer somewhere to where you gain a new perspective. And with that, you can be armed to go into a new direction. So, a graduation, I'm thinking, for the most part, it's a joyous event and it's exciting to move into a new direction. Do find some inspiration there, and if you feel overwhelmed, forgive yourself. It's okay. We all at times feel overwhelmed. It's all right. Don't be so hard on yourself. Sleep on it. Take a day or two, even if you can. A week or like 3 months, if you can financially, and perhaps move away for a bit. Move to another um, location, maybe an uncle or an aunt that you have, or an older sister or something. You can hang out with for a while and gain a new perspective, and then go back to on what you're going to do for the next year. So try those things for sure. Um, Losing your home or a job. I mean, if you have come to a certain point in your life, you've probably been through that. I know I have for myself as well. I've lost my home. I have lost many jobs. I have had so many jobs, too many to count. And we all are going through that. And that's okay because, yes, it can be devastating in the beginning, but I'm thinking there is also it serves a purpose to figure out on what direction you might want to go into. Sometimes losing your job or your home, or both, um, it can give you an opportunity to go into a whole different direction and perhaps start sort of a new life, which is it's not a bad thing actually to try something very different. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to what you knew, right? Perhaps a second time around in the same job market will help you to clarify on what went wrong the first time, just like with the divorce, right? We talked about earlier. But I'm thinking, if you have lost your job or you lost your home, maybe there's even a bankruptcy, right? I mean, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes so many things come all into the factor, to play in your life that all of a sudden it's almost like a rug is being pulled underneath from you and you have to start all over again. But if you can try to look at it as an opportunity rather than something that is going to devastate you for the rest of your life, look at it maybe as just chapters that need to be completed. So I'm thinking often that when you have a job loss, or you lost your home, or you lost your car, and whatever matters to you most, when you are at a loss, so to speak, to take an inventory and see where you can go from there. Perhaps you can move into a whole new direction and learn so much more about yourself that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do if you would have stayed where you were. So, looking back, obviously, everything is always 2020, right? And then you go like, oh, this is where I made a mistake, and this is what didn't go right, or what have you. But if you look at it as a chapter of your life and hopefully a lesson learned from it, then you can move on stronger and more self-assured and with a certain confidence that will help you in your next chapter. because life is really full of many different chapters. So embrace them. And if you look at losing a home as an example, sometimes tragedy happens where there might be a fire or a flood and what have you, and you lose your home involuntarily. Hopefully there's insurance in place and you can bounce back in some way, and if not, then it might be just a harsh lesson, which you can still get out of. I'm sure you can. I know I have been through many of these challenges myself, so I speak with all of these um, possibilities that do happen in life at times as an opportunity for you to come out of it and get back on top. And it is never too late to learn new things and gain a new perspective. It doesn't always mean that you have to stay in one job or in one home for your whole entire life. Sometimes faith comes in and gives you sort of another opportunity. I look at it as an opportunity to perhaps look in a different direction and learn something new. Um, Sudden distance, um, empty nest syndrome. That's my fourth point that I want to discuss today. Sudden distance that sometimes happens in the best of families. You can be in a partnership and all of a sudden you kind of don't feel the connect anymore, and you don't know exactly why that is. You don't seem to have these conversations that you used to have. And I'm thinking, to keep conversations alive, to keep the communication channels open, make sure when you feel that somebody is slipping away, or that maybe you even feel that you're distancing yourself somehow, um, try to figure out what is going on. Either if it comes from another person and you can feel it ahead of time, have a discussion. Enjoy. Invite that person for a cup of coffee if it's at work, or if it is at home, try to find some time, go for a walk with that person and have a conversation, a heart to heart conversation, and tell them, look, this is how I feel. Maybe this is just me, but perhaps I just need some clarification. And can you help me understand if there's anything going on? What can I do to perhaps clear this energy up, that is between us somehow, that is, it feels unresolved, and I like to figure out what it is. I think open communication is really important. Sometimes you just feel the distance, and sometimes it leads to even more like a separation when it's not being addressed. And I'm thinking addressing things ahead of time is really important. At the job as well, if you feel like there's something coming down the pipe, so to speak, and you are not really clear on what it is, have that conversation with your boss. Say, look, you know what, something is feeling off. Is there something that it's not quite right? Can we talk about it? I think they're always open if you address it early enough. Don't wait till you get the boot, so to speak. um, and then of course the empty nest syndrome, sometimes when children are leaving to go to college or moving out, that's not always easy, obviously. So I would say ahead of time, ensure that you have plenty of hobbies, and things are not only, you're not concentrating your life on your children only. Make sure that your partner is involved in your decisions that you are making for the future, in terms of once the children are leaving out of the house. So don't just start when the children are leaving. Start ahead of the game. Make sure that you're both engaged. You don't have to do everything together. No one wants to do that. Let him have his, or him or her have their plans, and you have yours. Okay, so then that way you can come together, and when you do come together, you have a lot to talk about. So anyway, so look at life, filled with chapters always, and try to understand that not everything has to be resolved right away. Um, Often chapters provide clarity. So think about that. So, anyway, this is it for today. I hope that you liked the segment. If you did, please hit the like button, share if you care, and of course, subscriptions are always free. Thank you so much. next time. Bye bye.